My name's Jason Long. I'm the VP of Sales for Wittmann USA. Here at Wittmann, we offer solutions to make your factory smarter and work harder for you. This afternoon, I'm going to go show you one of these solutions, which is our Wittmann Control Room. So our Control Room platform comes in two versions. The first is our PC version, which turns your PC into an ultimate dashboard to be able to access and control all your connected devices. This connection is just like you would have just at the machines itself, so whatever equipment. So whatever you could do at the equipment, you could do through your control room sitting at your desk at your PC. So the platform, down here along the bottom, we have these tabs. We set up our booth here like a mini cell, so we have a lot of our equipment connected to it. So the first one, we have our 918 robot connected. So you can see from this screen, this is the exact image that's on your robot pendant. And so from here, I can access the pendant just as I could sitting at the robot out on your floor. I can load programs. I can adjust positions a little bit. I can reset counters. I can read alarms. Anything you can do out on the floor, except for actually moving the robot. So it's a key point to point out when you have remote access to any equipment, you don't want to be able to unsafely move the robot or something around. We have one of our blenders set up and one of our dryers set up. So this blender, if this was our factory, it's actually on the far corner of our booth. If I didn't want to have to walk over there to make any of those adjustments, I could right from my PC come and make those adjustments just like I would on the actual screen of the pendant. Same with the blenders. Then we also have our micropower set up. Our micropower machine set up as a true Wittmann smart factory, smart cell. So in our micropower machine, which is our injection molding machine, we also have all the connected devices like our TCU and our robots connected. And through the connection of the molding machine, I'm able to go into my molding machine screen, just like I would at the machine, to be able to make all those adjustments. Through that single connection, I'm also able to go to my TCU. One thing like the TCU and the micro machine, it's actually built into the base of the machine, so you can't really see the screen unless you open the cabinets. But with the remote access here, I can actually make those changes without having to open that cabinet to get to it. So if I'm starting to run up my cell and I forget to turn on that TCU, I can actually come to this screen and hit the power button and turn that TCU on without having to walk around the machine or find that TCU. We also have access to our robot. So from here, I'm actually able to access my robot screen, which is in screensaver mode right now. And again, just like the R9 robot, I'm able to access that screen from here and make any adjustments. This robot system also has a built-in vision system. So through the remote access, I can also access my imaging vision system. And I can watch real time as that machine's running and see my vision system, see my results, see my pass or fail. So if you're sitting in your office and someone calls and says, hey, I'm starting to get bad parts, you can actually come onto your screen, review your quality control stuff, find out what you need to adjust. You can adjust it from here, or you could go out to your screen itself and adjust it. Another neat feature with the control room being its PC version, all this equipment's networked in your system to be able to access to the PC. And from the PC, you can also get remote access. So let's say you are on vacation somewhere and you wanted to actually work. You can actually remote into your network and get remote access just like you would sitting at your PC or just like you would at your machine. We can also use that for troubleshooting. So Wittmann as a supplier or whoever your supplier equipment is could use TeamViewer and log into this PC and be able to remotely troubleshoot and help access all the equipment connected to your network. So robots and molding machines had that technology for a while, but you don't normally get that kind of remote access with maybe a TCU or a blender without a lot more network capabilities. With this platform, because it's networked already through the control room, we're able to access even the simplest product like a TCU and provide remote access to it. The next version of the control room is the TeachBox control room platform. This takes this technology that's plant-wide and brings that process right down to your work cell level. So within our robot pendant, just like on our PC, I'm able to access the robot in the cell. I'm also able to access the TCU that's inside here. So if I wanted to adjust that TCU or turn it off and on, I would have to stop that robot right now to go in there. But because I have remote access to it through the robot TeachBox, I can actually shut it off and turn it right back on right through this pendant. I can access my dryer and my blender the same way I could if I was sitting at that screen. So if you had blender was up on a mezzanine somewhere or dryer was somewhere located, I can get all that technology and all that access right from this screen without having to walk around my plant to figure that out. Another feature with the TeachBox control room, automation is growing quite a bit. So most of the time you see a robot tending a molding machine, picking parts. But as automation grows, automation cells become more in depth with more and more robots. So from this screen, we have a second robot to show that I can actually control and access up to 4 robots through one TeachBox. So if I had a larger cell and I had multiple TeachBoxes to control robots, if I didn't want to walk around and have to grab each one of those, I'm able to come in here and switch between my 2 robots and be able to program even one of those individually through one TeachBox. So some cells now we get in our system, we see some cells with up to 4 robots, you have TeachBoxes. So just by being able to do that from here, it saves a lot of time to have to walk around and grab each one of those individual TeachBoxes and make those functions. You also have some functionality with the molding machines that's connected through the TeachBox. So if you're programming a robot, you realize maybe I need to push my ejectors out another ½ inch or something. Before, you'd have to walk around my molding machine and to make that adjustment. With the Wittmann Control technology and through our control TeachBox, you can actually make those adjustments like ejectors and open and speeds straight through the TeachBox into your molding machine without having to walk around to your molding machine to do that. This is an example of how connecting all your equipment in your factory can save you a lot of efficiency and time. The real important thing is a little different. A lot of companies have MES systems and things connect through the MES. So MES is like a production monitor. So it's pulling a lot of data out of your system and monitoring. You have some access to the equipment. The control room works in parallel with the MES system. So the same connection you connect to your machine to connect to your MES system, it's piggybacking off that. So now I'm able to use my MES system to collect all my data. Control room doesn't collect data. It just gives you access to the machines at a higher level you would through like an MES system. So again, with the remote capabilities also, we're able to remote into that and see that also remotely, the same connection you use. So when you're setting up a factory with network, the way this works, it helps clean up that network capability. So before, I would have to run an Ethernet cord to every piece of equipment. With this kind of technology, we're running one Ethernet connector to a smart cell, like our micro machine. And with that one Ethernet connection, I'm able to see all that connected devices, the TCU, the robot. So when you're setting up a plant and the network infrastructure needed, it really saves on network switches and Ethernet cables because the equipment's already ready for that connection. Before I open up to any questions, if you want to learn a little bit more about how Industry 4.0 and how Wittmann 4.0 technology can help make your factory floor more of a smart factory, I have these cards up here you can come grab. On the back is a QR code. If you scan this QR code, it'll give you access to our Ultimate 4.0 guide, where it goes over exactly how Industry 4.0, the connectivity and integration of all the equipment in our industry, can really help make your factories more intelligent and work harder for you. Are there any questions? So the question was, because we have all this great access and it's kind of remote from where your machine is, how do you ensure the safeties of it? So it's kind of a 2 process. Earlier I said you physically cannot move equipment. So I can't physically start a molding machine up through the control room. I would still have to have someone on the factory floor to do that. Once it's running, I'm able to adjust and make some parameters. But same with the robot. I wouldn't be able to physically move the robot because without being able to see it, that's a no-no. The other connectivity is if someone was in your plant at the machine making changes and I tried to access it through the control room, it prioritizes the actual machine as the data. So I can't be making a change sitting in my office and someone else makes the change out in the factory floor that might contradict and become unsafe. So with that, that's the 2 layers of safety what's in function in that. All right, simple and sweet. I thank everybody for your time.